one.
Hello, John.
Hello. How are you? Let's look. I got my lucky Santa. Bill's.
Oh, I like him. I got mine too. He's sitting on top of my fireplace.
Nice.
Bringing luck to the Bills.
Speaking of fireplace, is your fireplace on?
It's been on for days. And I got to tell you, they're talking about the Bills and they're going to play in this cold weather and all this. I just checked and it's like 5 degrees in Chicago or something like that.
Right.
4 degrees in Chicago. John, it's 5 degrees here. And that's 20 degrees warmer than it was a couple days ago.
Oh, God.
I'm not talking wind chill. Two days ago, I got up and I checked the weather. It said it's minus 14 degrees out. And that was like 11 o'clock in the morning. And the high got up to -9. That was the high. And with the wind chill, it was minus 34. Now, I'm like, now that's cold.
That's cold.
Underneath my door that goes to the patio was coming in all down the floor. Frost was there, and the windows were they looked like they had those icicle patterns on them. And I was so cold. How cold was it? I was so cold that when I went to the restroom, icicles I could hear.
Icicles?
I could hear ice cubes. It was cold. Now, yesterday it was negative all day again. Not quite as bad, but it was in the single digit negatives all day. And today, like I say, it's -5 right now. And it's going up to it's a 5 now, and it's going up to -11. So that's like spring weather over here.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're gonna have our Christmas Day is gonna be a high of 23. So that's wonderful.
Going up, yeah. You don't feel that difference.
So we're finally getting over that. It's finally moving towards the East Coast. They're getting bombed with snow. If they get this cold on top of it, John, God help them. It's just horrible. We got a couple inches of snow, not a big deal.
Look, I got to tell you, I'm in sunny Florida, and the sun is out, but it was 37 degrees this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, and if anybody knows Florida, they know that 37 degrees in Florida is a lot like -10 here in Omaha. It's cold in Florida when you feel it, yeah. And the sun is out here. Nothing's melting, but there's not a cloud in the sky. It's the most beautiful blue sky I ever saw.
People were putting like plastic bags and paper around their plants, plants to protect them.
Yeah.
Because of the overnight frost or overnight jets to freeze. The other thing, and I told you this already, is like I went to the gas station this morning and there was a line of cars that had to get air for their tires because everybody's sensors went off.
Yeah.
You don't have enough air pressure.
Yeah.
All right. So I heard so I was listening a little bit to WGI this morning, and they were talking, about what players do in cold weather. And they were saying that Tom Brady was known for having a specially made kind of wetsuit wearing the cold weather underneath his uniform. Now, it didn't have sleeves so that he would have arm movement. But and I thought that I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting. All week long, they've been talking about, like, if you're going to the game, make sure, or if you're going to work at the game, or if you're going to the game, make sure you do whatever you do for the cold weather. And people were calling up. Like one guy from Montana called up, and he's like, "Hunter's pants, Hunter's is there's nothing better than like that's going to be the best you can find, and get your hunter gear out, your socks and the boots and the for warmth." Sal Capaccio was like, "I sounds great. I don't really have that stuff."
John, I saw a clip yesterday. They were showing inside the Chicago Stadium. And they had a huge sign in there, a huge sign.
Huge.
It was like, if you're feeling hyperthermia, like you're frostbite, call this number. An emergency squad will come and get you. Get your seat.
Well, are they going to come get you, or are they sending a bunch of girls to warm you up?
I think the
It's
people,
like a team late.
I think the people in the stands are just going to slide you down.
Here you go. Take him. He's done.
I'm like, it's 5 degrees there, and it should warm up a little bit more before game time. That's not that bad. Believe me, 5-7 degrees is cold, but it's not like -14. It's a huge difference.
On the field, the reports this morning that I heard, some of the reporters on the field were talking, so far they haven't gotten the wind.
Yeah.
The wind has been kind of mild, because not only will the wind affect you feeling colder, but it'll affect the gameplay.
Oh, of course.
So they're like, no, it's very, very cold, but the wind is not too bad. The wind shouldn't affect their ability to punch, your ability to throw the ball, your ability to kick, not unless it changes from, we got an hour and a half to go here. So how are you watching the game, or what are you going to do for the game today? You listen on the radio?
Well, I'm going to have to listen to it on the radio. I have the Sirius radio, and such it means it's a home game of Chicago, so I'm going to get Chicago radio.
Oh, wait a minute. You have the NFL Plus.
Yeah.
So you could get the home broadcast on that.
Okay, I didn't think of that. I do know that's delayed a little bit behind the radio, but I guess that's fine.
This is what, satellite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be faster, yeah. But what difference does it make? It's not like you're going to watch it and listen to it at the same time. You just listen.
Yeah, I guess the other games I'm getting at the same time, I got Cincinnati on one channel and Kansas City on the other.
Wait. Oh, I forgot. Okay, hold on. Kansas City's playing who?
Seattle.
Okay. But it's not in Seattle. It's in Kansas City. They're at home.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I know that they are, because I was thinking, that could be a tough road trip, but it's not. They're going to get them at home. All right, and then I don't remember. I also am supposed to get the Cincinnati game. That's the national game this week. Is that New England?
That's New England.
I think it's New England. Okay. Well, if somehow the New England defense steps up and makes that a close game, that'd be great. I don't know where that guy. I don't know who's home then. But both of those, they're both kind of northeast-ish teams. Ohio isn't necessarily northeast, but they get cold weather there. They live throughout this, as you live in Cincinnati over the course of a winter, you get some cold dates and stuff. So that it's going to be abrasive for everyone. Mm-hmm. But it's not like the Houston Texans have to travel up to New England. It's not that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they do have a way on Sirius Radio to listen to the Bills home broadcast. Oh, but you have to have the internet version of Sirius, which is an additional charge. I don't want to pay more money to listen to one game.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Your, as I recall, your version was a gift from your son.
Yeah, it's a lifetime.
Lifetime, right?
Right, lifetime payment. I'll have it forever. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm done with it, you could be George. You listen.
All right. Well, yeah, nobody's going to send them a death certificate to let them know.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, but it's tied to the actual radio, right? Like that's why you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, my question now is the game itself.
Okay.
How do who you're predicting to win? How do you expect this game to flow?
All right. Well, let's talk about. You got Chicago Bears, who've only got 3 wins this year, and yet they've got some good players. Let's face it, their best player is their quarterback.
Yep.
And watching Justin Fields, and you know me, I like Justin Fields in college.
I do know that.
And he can run the ball.
Yeah.
He is a very good runner. I don't know that he's Lamar Jackson, but I'm not sure if he's Josh Allen, but he's right up there with those guys. He's close to those guys.
Who was the player? Who's the quarterback who he was with Atlanta and then
Michael Vick?
Michael Vick. I always kind of thought of him a little bit like Michael Vick, but I think Vick might have been a better passer.
Vick is a better passer. Now, here's the deal. I rewatched the game, the Chicago game from this week, and it's quite easy to see when Justin Fields gets the running game going. They got this kid, David Montgomery, is the running back.
Yeah, I like him.
He's very good running back. And when they've got him going, and then they start calling plays for Justin Fields to run, pretty soon they've got a nice running combination. And you know that the Bills, you don't know what you're going to get on defense against the run. You just don't know. Okay. And so I like, but what about their passing game? So now I start watching their passing game. You know, they picked up that kid, Chase Claypool from Pittsburgh, but he's been injured ever since.
Oh, okay.
And so their passing game is a very, very short passing game. 2-3 yard passes, trying to get it to a playmaker to do something. And the Bills will be all over that. Now, can Justin Fields make a play down the field? Yes. He can make 15 to 20 yard throws. He doesn't throw a lot of passes way down the field. He's not going to do what Josh Allen does. Not that he doesn't have the arm, but he doesn't have the receivers to do it. But you got to watch his feet. When he has the time.
I'm not like one of those feet people that are sexually.
No, I'm not talking about
that. That's not my thing. I'm just saying.
You got to watch his feet. When he is.
Understandings out there.
When he has the ability to stop and set his feet, he's very accurate down the field.
Oh, okay.
When he's moving, he can't hit the broadside of a barn. So if you get the pressure on him and he starts to have to move out of the pocket and throw down the field, they're horrible. And that's the way to beat them, is to shut down the run. Now, they are a running team. So you got to shut down the run and then get him moving on his feet, and he'll be inaccurate. And that's the way to beat the Chicago Bears. When you don't have weapons that are they're gonna stand up against the Bills offense.
When you were saying that, one of the things that clicked in my head, towards the end of his career, these are after the Super Bowl years, Jim Kelly had been through a number of injuries. And his arm strength wasn't what it was. And they were asking him about interceptions. He was throwing some interceptions that year. And he was like, well, one of the things we've kind of looking at the tape, it looks like when I have great mechanics, when I have bad mechanics, I'm more prone to throwing interceptions. So I'm really focusing on my mechanics. And footwork was a big part of that. And so that kind of clicked. For whatever reason, you're talking about that hit me from a Bills history standpoint. But one of the great traits of Allen is his ability to throw on the run.
Yes,
he can be crazy accurate on the run.
Yeah,
I throw interceptions on the run too. Don't get me wrong, but I know he's done interviews in the past off season. He worked quite a bit on his mechanics on the run, and he was really proud of the fact that his interceptions thrown while moving to his right had gone way down.
Yeah,
it was a noticeable improvement there.
Yeah,
now, that doesn't mean he was completing more. He might have been throwing the ball away too. I don't know, but his interceptions had gone down, and he was really proud of that. Okay,
the Chicago offensive line is like a macaroni strainer. It's a sieve.
Okay, well, let me throw something at you. Last week, as you know, we went up against Miami, where everyone's so worried about Waddle and Hill. We gave up 187 yards. Now, we won the game, but still 187 yards. And didn't the Jets get a lot of running yards as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to set the Jet game aside. The one thing that I will really compliment McDermott on is when they go up against a team that is one-dimensional, they seem to be able to scheme that pretty. And with the not bad weather, with the colder weather, it's going to be even harder for Fields to throw. I think we're really going to be looking at a one-dimensional team here. And I have some confidence in the Bills defense being able to focus on one thing and over the course of a game doing a good job. Now, they may have a breakaway run, which sucks, but I don't know that they'll necessarily be able to go on long drives and score touchdowns.
Yeah, and on enough of them if the Bills get in a rhythm.
If the Bills can get in a rhythm, right?
If the Bills put up 28 points, I don't think Chicago, and I know Chicago has been doing that against teams lately.
Putting up points, but still through running, I believe.
Yes. John, have you heard about our defensive line? Is Jordan Phillips playing? Is Ed Oliver playing?
Certainly, Morris, the center, is out.
Right.
Boogie Basham is out. It is the active list should be out. It's less than 90 minutes to game. They put that out 90 minutes of the game. So give me one moment, folks. We're going to pause the recording and we'll see if we can get the active list. Zoom. All right, I have the active list.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
Well, give me your questions there. Like you, I think we're
good for Jordan Phillips and Ed Oliver.
Jordan Phillips is active.
Oh.
Oliver, Daquan Jones, Jordan Phillips, Tim Settle are all active today. Let me give you the edge guys. Russo, AJ Epineza, Shaq Lawson, and Kingsley Jonathan.
Who the heck is that?
I think they picked him. I think they found him in the grocery store.
Yeah.
He
must have shoveled Josh Allen's driveway.
Just FYI, well, I guess they always do have a bunch of linebackers active, but two notables. AJ Klein is active today. So is Terrell Bernard.
Wow.
So we got Milano, Terrell Dotson, AJ Klein, Tremaine Edmonds, Tyler Matakevich. I just have
Right, Matakevich.
Terrell Bernard. So a full like 6 linebackers. That's as many as they ever. Let me give you the inactives.
Okay.
Xavier Rhodes.
Okay.
Balin Spector. We liked him. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. We liked him.
Dean Marlowe, they just picked him up a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. Safety, right? Backup safety?
Yeah.
Boogie Basham, Mitch Morris. Of course, we expected that. Justin Murray and Tommy Sweeney.
Justin who?
Justin Murray. I didn't misspeak.
Yeah, okay. I never heard of him either. I'm sorry he was inactive.
Yeah, no. Reggie Gillum is active. James Cook, Singletary, Tywan Jones, and Naheem Hines. All right. So Cole Beasley is active today, but we have no Brown. McKenzie, Shakir, Beasley, Davis, and Diggs. You got 5 wide receivers.
Okay.
Only 2 tight ends, but Morris and Knox, exactly who you would expect. And, Ike Bodker is active. There was a lot of speculation because they pulled him off of the IR. They activated him this week from IR, but nobody knew if they would activate him for the game, right? But he's dressing. Bodker, Bobby Hart, Ryan Bates, Deion Dawkins, Greg Van Rotten, Roger Saffold, David Quisenberry, and Spencer Brown. That's 8 offensive linemen.
They're going to play a lot of rotation then.
Yeah, well, you don't normally think of a rotating offensive line, but maybe they certainly gave themselves flexibility depending on how guys are playing.
You're right.
Like there was according to Sal Capaccio, the guy that is listed as the backup center is actually Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I finally figured out who Kevin Bates is. I keep always wanting to call Ryan Bates Kevin Bates.
Yeah.
I went to school with him in high school.
Oh, some kid you went to school with.
Yeah, and when I got married, the woman or the girl that was the matron of honor, that was her husband.
No, no kidding.
Yeah. Lisa's best friend was married when we got married, and they had married. She had married Kevin Bates. All right, so I don't know. We don't normally think about offensive line getting rotated the way defensive line does, but if Kevin Bates is supposed to be the backup center, that does put you in a situation where if your center goes out, you now have two positions where the starter will not be starting, not just one. So when he left the game, they didn't move things around. They tried to put Van Rotten in there to be the backup center, to be the center, and that I don't know that worked real well. Like at the beginning of the third period, Morris goes down, and the Bills' offense doesn't look the same really the rest of the game. Right. At the end of the game, they're able to run some. They get the lead back, and then when they get the ball back with about 6 minutes left in the game, they run and have a very nice long drive to try to kick the winning field goal.
All right, let me tell you about the Chicago field, because I watched the thing about that too.
Okay.
They were showing how they take care of it, and they were actually showing it live. And they have like something that's a natural grass field.
Okay.
All right, and natural grass is slower than artificial turf.
Yeah.
By slower, I mean it's slower to run on. So it takes away, it negates some of the speed of your wide receivers. So I guess where I'm going with this, though, is that they take extremely good care of their natural grass field. They have something under there that keeps it warm. They cover it. Then they were plowing all the snow off of the cover. Then they'll roll back the cover, and it really the field is not going to be like ice, or it's not going to be a sloppy mess. It's really going to be in good shape. So the Bills are going to face cold weather. Chicago's going to face cold weather. Chicago plays in their weather all the time.
Sure.
Buffalo plays in their weather all the time. So the one thing about Chicago, it's known for the windy city.
Right.
We'll see if the wind becomes a factor. Josh Allen has the cannon out there. When it comes to throwing, he's the better of the two quarterbacks, that's for sure. When it comes to running, I don't know if they're equal or not, but they're probably not that far apart, one way or another, on the running side of quarterbacks.
Specifically the quarterback. Okay.
But on the throwing side of the quarterback, Josh Allen is by far the better passer, and he's got a cannon that'll rifle through a lot of wind. Unless you're getting 40, 50 mile an hour blasts, that's nobody's going to throw that. Humans can't do that. So I don't expect the passing game of the Bills to be that limited. I still see the running game of the Bills mixed with the passing game to keep things honest, keep the play action passes going. And I think we're going to see the Bills moving the ball down the field, and they're going to score a number of times. I think they're going to score over 20 points for sure. I'm thinking that they're going to get somewhere near the 30-point mark. And I'm going to give the Bears, I'm going to give them 21 because they can run.
Sorry.
So I think the Bills cover the spread. And most people are saying take the Bears. The Bills can't cover the spread, but I don't agree with that. I think the Bills will cover the spread. I think the Bears will score more points than we may have expected, because one, they've proven they're doing it right now. They've done it the last number of weeks, and they've got a double threat in their run game between David Montgomery, who is a really good running back, and Justin Fields, who is an unpredictable runner. So I think they're going to be able to move the ball, but I also think they'll sack Justin Fields a good 4 times or more in this game.
Okay. Very nice. Oh, really? Okay, well, that would be good. Well, yeah. Sometimes you get a sack, the quarterback's trying to run the ball, but you just catch him behind the line of scrimmage.
He got sacked 6 times last week.
Holy crap, I had no idea. All right. Well, I'm along similar lines. I'm thinking that Chicago will score 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
Okay. So you got them at 20 points?
I'm at 20, and I'm thinking the Bills are between the 24 to 28. So I'm going to say 28 to 20. I don't know what the point spread is, so I don't know if that covers or not.
I think it's 7.5. So let's say you're right about at the point spread, and I'm thinking they're going to cover it for sure.
Yeah, right at the point spread.
And you got the Bills not quite as high a score as me, but we got the Bears at around the same point. So that's pretty good. Usually, I got to give it to you, John. You're much more accurate on the scores than I am. Week to week, you've proven to be. I got to give you that crown. You certainly are. There's no way I thought the game would be as close last week against Miami. I thought the Bills would blow them out, and here they had to do a comeback to win in the fourth quarter, and it was 32-29 for crying out loud. So that was I don't think either of us predicted Miami to score that many points, but we didn't expect the Bills to score that many points either.
Yeah, I think the Bills are in that weird situation where they're not Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. But before the season started and through the beginning of the season, there was so much hype around them that teams do get up to face it.
Yes, I agree.
Do get up to face it. And the Miami team's got a lot of pride.
Yes, they do. And they're a good team. There's no question they're a good team.
Oh, Brother Bob is contacting us.
Okay.
Hold on. Holy crap. The mayor of, I think, Nashville, has tweeted out there'll be unilateral rolling blackouts will continue. All non-essential business should reduce power usage. I've asked the Titans to postpone their 12 p.m. game in solidarity with our neighbors.
With their neighbors?
Well, I guess the Titans' neighbors would be the citizens that live around them.
Oh.
All right. So due to continued unprecedented cold temperatures resulting in high power demand, TVA, and I'm thinking that's the power company in Nashville, has
Tennessee Valley Authority.
Okay, thank you. Has directed local power companies to reduce load. Planned intermittent interruptions support system reliability. We appreciate everyone's patience and support as we manage this unprecedented demand. They're asking Tennessee to postpone the game so that they don't draw power from the grid at a time when they're having rolling blackouts. That seems reasonable to me.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, what does postponing the game, how is that going to affect the draw on the electricity by that much? Because they're going to have lights on in the stadium?
The lights and the production.
Or because people are going to have their TVs on to watch the game. They're going to watch something, whether the game's on or not.
Yeah, no, I think it's more localized. I think it is more, the lights are beyond and the production draws a lot of power.
How are you going to do rolling blackouts when it's negative degrees? I mean, what are they talking about? They better get their acts together and fix their TVA for future generations. I mean, you're saying when you need the power, you can't have it. Well, that's a whole nother subject. I wish
the politics.
Yeah, I wish the Tennesseans the best of luck in this. I hope they come through this extremely good.
If it will make a difference, then yeah, I hope that they postpone the game. If
it'll make a difference, yeah, I agree with you. There's no sense complaining. If it's going to help keep people safe, let's do that. That's the most
elderly on oxygen and what other equipment, and you've got kids. You can't stand the idea of kids sitting in the house without heat. So, all right, I'm with them there. All right. Anything in particular? Reporters are not traveling. So for WGR, Sal Capaccio was there. He traveled on Thursday. Well, you know what? I think he travels on one of the team or on the team plane.
Oh, okay. All right.
He went out with them. But Plus didn't go. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, they weren't looking forward to that weather, so that's funny.
All right. So on the defensive side of the ball, we didn't talk much about that. And although I think they'll be able to, with everybody playing, I think they'll be able to shut down the run in most cases. If somebody rips off a big one, okay, that happens. But as long as they can keep them from having long sustained drives with the run, that we should be in really good shape. And with all our linebackers there, John, I think we're gonna with Poyer there, with all the other linebackers you got coming out there, and you got Jordan Phillips and Ed Oliver in there, and you got Greg Rousseau in there. I think they'll be able to shut down that run. I was saying to you, was it last week, that against Miami, they were able to run. They had that kid Mostert, who that's the best game he's ever had, I think. But to me, I still look at it and I see the Bills teeing off on pass rush, and they were trying to get to Tua on every play. So all those plays that were run plays, the Bills were playing the pass, and they did that once before this year, and we gave up a lot of run yards, and they're going to have to not do that in this game.
Well, I think not only, in addition to that, like, this will be the game where you have, as a defensive lineman, you have to, like, you can't, if you're responsibility for a particular gap, you can't abandon that to get around and try to get that sack by going around.
That's what they were doing.
And you've got to stay in your lane. Now, if you're doing a stunt, that's fine, but you still have to maintain gap control. And if you lose it, this guy will make it pay.
Yeah, you sure will, because he can run too. And we better figure out how to play both run and pass, because next week when we play Cincinnati, they've got Joe Mixon, who we know is a good running back, and they got Joe Burrows, who we know is a good quarterback. And he's got a couple of good weapons on their team, and they were just in the Super Bowl. So they're not some slouch team. They're an outstanding team. We're going to have to go on the road and defend against the run and the pass.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to our preview of that game. The only thing I'll throw at you at the end of our video here, you were talking about the running abilities of the two quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Allen is faster than he looks like he would be at 6'4". He doesn't look like he'd be. So he's really a very good athlete. The only thing I will throw at you is I think you kind of gave him an equivalent rating. I think Fields is more elusive.
Yeah, they're different style runners.
Yeah.
He's like trying to tackle a defensive end, Josh Allen. He's a big guy. He's 6'5" or something, and 200 and some odd pounds. He's like tackling a quick defensive end, and that is not easy for a cornerback, or even a linebacker. So, Justin Fields is a tall kid, but he's elusive. He's more like a running back or even a wide receiver.
Did you catch the end of the Jets Jacksonville game on Thursday night?
I did.
They put their backup quarterback in, a guy from the Canadian Football League, and on one run he lowered his shoulder and hit some defensive back like a fullback would. Mm-hmm. He just barreled that guy over, and that was pretty awesome. You talked about how hard Josh Allen is to get down. That was nice. That was the most effective I'd seen a Jet quarterback in a couple of weeks.
Well, he got his opportunity. He was going for it. I'll do whatever it takes, coach. Put me in there, coach.
So after the game, one of the analysts on the radio was like, he was asked, is can this guy maybe be competing for the future starting role?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, no, he doesn't really have a position in the NFL. He's lucky to be on a team. And they're like, but he was so effective tonight. He's like, well, did you see the pass where Gardner was open, like there wasn't another player within 30 yards of him? And he threw the ball, and Gardner had to stop, run backwards, and dive for the ball. He's like, he's just not accurate enough passer. You can't be effective in the NFL if you can't throw to a guy 30 yards down. I think it was more than 30 yards, but a guy who's 10 to 15 yards open.
Yeah.
Nobody near him, and you can't hit him while he's still standing.
Right.
You can't be an NFL quarterback.
I know we're running out of time, but just really quickly, I was talking to you before that maybe we should do a thing like, what do we think it's going to take to win the top seed? And we got Cincinnati, Miami, and Buffalo. Really, are the three teams that are in it. But we may Kansas City, yeah.
Cincinnati.
What did I say? Oh, the heck with Miami. Okay, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. Those are the three teams that are vying for that #1 seed. But I say let's not do it this week. Let's see what happens this week, because right now Kansas City's won their division, and the Bills are, if they win today, they'll win their division.
Right.
And we'll see what Cincinnati does. They should be able to win their division, and then we'll really be able to talk about the seeding. Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Right. Go Bills! Enjoy the game.
Oh, my guy.
I got mine too.
Bye.
Bye.